Capital News tonight. Renowned businessman Ali Mafruki laid to rest in Dar es Salaam. Prisons in various regions release prisoners pardoned by President Dr. John Magufuli. And in sports, debts inherited from predecessors make it hard for younger to pay players. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. I'm Vanessa Vector. Let's start things off with the national news. The business community, various leaders, including retired President Benjamin Mkapa, are among mourners who turned up to pay their last respects to the body of renowned businessman and founder of the CEO Roundtable, Ali Mafruki, who died on the 8th of December this year in South Africa, where he'd gone for medical treatment. Ali Mafruki was laid to rest at Kisutu Cemetery in Dar es Salaam. He has left behind a widow and 4 children.
He was an upright man and a team builder in the institute he started and amongst other areas. He's left behind 99 grandchildren, 8 have passed away, so our family has over 300 people. We relied on him for guidance and direction. We knew he was always there.
Tanzania. During the first meeting, our first meeting, he gave me a copy of his book. It contains all his hopes for Tanzania and Tanzanians. Also, it showed that he was a generous and kind-hearted person.
I really felt from a distance to him becoming a friend, a mentor, and a coach who inspired me. And maybe I feel Ali actually conned me to take over from him as the chairman of CEO Roundtable. I remember one day Ali giving me a call and telling me that we've talked as the board. I wasn't there in that board meeting. And I think it is right time for you to take up a much more bigger leadership role besides what you're doing for Standard Chartered Bank. And I actually asked him, Ali, what's happening to you? Why don't we talk about this? So a couple of weeks later, I went to Ali's office and I asked him, Ali, how will this work? How am I expected to fill up your shoes? To that, Ali said, the association requires change.
We'll continue to value and recognize his contribution through investments in his companies and other areas, but also in taxes. He will also be remembered as a member of CEO Roundtable and as a board member in other numerous corporations.
And several regions in the country have released prisoners who were pardoned by President Dr. John Magufuli during the 58th Independence Anniversary celebrations held in Mwanza. Among the 5,533 prisoners pardoned by President Magufuli, 130 were from Ukonga prison in Dar es Salaam.
Yesterday, 9th December 2019, at the independence celebrations in Mwanza region, President directed some prisoners to be released following fulfillment of set requirements. Thus, we are here to verify if the President's directive has been fulfilled. As regional government leaders, we thought it would be wise to supervise the exercise. It will be a great shame if they will come back and not just for themselves, but even to Honorable President. So far, this exercise is going well in Dar es Salaam region. We're expecting to release 293 prisoners, where in Ukonga 130 prisoners, Keko 54 prisoners, Segerea 74 prisoners, and Wazo Hill 35.
Gereza Keko 54, gereza Segerea 74 na gereza Wazo Hill 35.
In Geita region, 4 prisons have also released 227 prisoners.
I'm regretting my actions. I pray to God to help me with this transition so that I will not come back here. I believe in God. Out there, the government is waiting for you. Go and live according to rules and regulations of this country. I wish you all the best and your family.
Meanwhile, Songwe Region Commissioner Brigadier General Nicodemus Mwangela has called on the immigration officer in the region to hold talks with ambassadors of Ethiopia, Somalia and the Democratic Republic of Congo on how to move prisoners from the countries at Ilembo prison in Mbozi district in order to reduce congestion. He made the statement during the release of 96 prisoners pardoned by President Magufuli at Ilembo prison.
There are illegal immigrants in this prison, where I have directed regional immigration officer to work on their matters so that they could also be released. The prison is crowded. If there are possibilities for them to contact the illegal immigrants' embassies, then there are chances for these people to be released so as to reduce the crowds in our prisons.
Maabusu wana ile kesi ya kubambikizwa.
There are tendencies of giving people fake cases at the lockups, and one among the key things that makes people remain in prisons is improper time of hearing cases in courts.
Citizens, leaders of various human rights institutions in the country have expressed their views on the human rights situation 71 years after the United Nations Human Rights Declaration, with some saying that Tanzania is making progress on implementation of human rights despite there being challenges on violation of children's rights.
We work with heritage as a tool for change and development, because we strongly believe that heritage play a crucial role in people's lives. Heritage is everything. It's our traditions, it's our culture, it's changing and it's developing as well. So by using or activating heritage, it can be a tool, a powerful tool to create a better society in the future. So we have developed a specific methodology, a participatory methodology, which is called the time travel method, where we activate our heritage, the local heritage, to be able to create a safe space to talk about issues, contemporary issues of today.
There's a broad set of methods and actions that need to be used. There is no quick fix, there is no single thing to be done. There's a lot of initiatives being done, which we have seen today, and I think all of them contribute to eradicate the gender-based violence. There is anything that is educated enough. You can always be more educated. There is no limit of the education. There is always more needed in all societies around the globe. Education is key.
Meanwhile, Songwe Regional Commissioner Brigadier General Nicodemus Mwangela has called on the immigration officer in the region to hold talks with ambassadors of Ethiopia, Somalia and the Democratic Republic of Congo on how apologize for that. This is the actual story. The Minister of State in the President's Office for Regional Administration and Local Government, Suleiman Jaffer, has issued a 2-day deadline to the District Commissioner and Executive Director of Iramba District to give him a written explanation on why construction of Ndago and Kinampanda health centers have not been completed, despite them receiving funds for the construction projects. Minister Jaffer gave this directive during his tour of Singida region.
disappointed na haiwezekani nipeleka fedha tokea awamu ya kwanza mpaka
I'm so disappointed. It is not possible that money was brought in from the first phase. By Friday, I want explanations from the district commissioner and his assistant when they are present. Yet, there are a lot of things that went badly. I can clearly see that people in this area had suffered so much, but Honorable President had brought in funds, and today this area is full of patients seeking treatment. What I'm going to do is to make sure that you are allocated more doctors so you can keep up the good work. Iramba District Commissioner and his assistant must come and learn from you. This area is not enclosed, which poses security threats, but there is also a lack of doctors, which has been brought about by the increase in patient numbers.
The Republic in the kidnapping case of businessman Mohamed Dewji has said that the case cannot continue with one accused, but when all the accused have been arrested. The case against taxi driver Musa Twalib and 4 other accused who are still at large was to have been mentioned yesterday before Principal Magistrate Huruma Shahidi. The defendant's lawyer Maufudu Mbagwa said the defendant has stayed in remand custody for a long time, while State Attorney Glory Mwenda said the case will come up for mention on December 23rd this year, and the accused Musa Twalib will continue to stay in custody. The other accused in the case include 4 nationals from Mozambique and a South African who are alleged to have kidnapped businessman Mohamed Dewji on 11th October 2018 in the early hours of the morning at the Coliseum Hotel while he was on his way to the gym. More than 50,000 residents in Handeni District, Tanga region are expected to get national identification cards within the next 5 days. This comes after the District Commissioner of Handeni, Godwin Gondre, decided to use the Week of Independence to address people's problems, which include delays in getting national IDs.
We're meeting here in Handeni Square to listen to people's hardships and find solutions. People have had an array of challenges, but the District Commissioner has come up with this plan to meet here so we can serve you. We've agreed with NIDA management that by the time this exercise closes, then at least 50,000 people should have been issued with NIDA cards, and all must be issued with NIDA ID numbers. I believe we will meet the target. We are grateful for this exercise and we ask if it can be progressive.
That's all for national news. International news is next. And in international news, the 9th Heads of State and Government of the African, Caribbean and Pacific Group of States Summit has come to an end with a unanimous agreement to fight against climate change as well as strengthen the fight against terrorism.
You will all know the summit was held under the theme of a transformed ACP committed to multilateralism. The theme anchored 3 sub-themes focusing on good governance, peace and security, climate change, and ocean governance, as well as intra-ACP cooperation. The theme and sub-themes were chosen carefully by the Secretariat and the Council of Ministers, based on the current global realities where the multilateral system is seriously being challenged. For the deliberations and interactions of the last 2 days, the leaders pronounced themselves on the kind of transformation and commitments that our group must undertake for us to stand out amongst the community of nations. Our collective resolve is to shape an ACP group that is responsive to the new as well as the emerging global challenges that we face as a group. Indeed, as part of the resolutions of the summit, all leaders unanimously agreed on the need to upscale our efforts in enhancing global governance, intra-ACP cooperation, South-South as well as triangular cooperation, promoting global peace and security, while at the same time deepening trade and investment across these three regions. Our summit also reaffirmed the centrality of the United Nations in the preservation and maintenance of global peace and security, and commended all our chief negotiators on the progress that they've made so far in concluding the negotiations on the post-Cotonou agreement with our principal partners who are the European Union.
Key outcomes that we want to attribute to this historic summit. On intra-ACP cooperation, leaders have called for the establishment of an intra-ACP and trans-regional cooperation policy framework that will guide the group's efforts towards strengthening ties and solidarity among the member states and regional organizations. Secondly, on addressing climate change, leaders have proposed a Nairobi pledge to urgent climate action that we will canvass, promote, and circulate throughout the UN system.
And the Uganda People's Defense Forces, UPDF, has sent 2,414 troops to Somalia as part of efforts to ensure peace and fight against the Al-Shabaab terrorist group. The officers will join others of the African Union who are serving in the country under AMISOM.
When you get there, don't be surprised to be welcomed by fire, but you've been prepared. If they fire at you, you must fire back. You will be given logistics, food and other items to use there. Christmas is almost here. Don't take the festive spirit with you because the enemy there will be ready for you.
Anakusubiri na lazima kutakuwa baptism of fire.
In Goma, east of Congo, business, school and other activities came to a halt today following protests held by students who are opposing the ongoing murders in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, as well as the killing of one of the protesters by a police officer.
There was a police officer nearby who shot a defenseless student.
Mwanafunzi alikuwa uzaviro de 13 akakufa pale Sirlesha.
Tunahasira kwa sababu tumekamatiwa kama manyama.
We are angry because we are treated like animals. We want them to go back. They must return to where they came from.
The first Vice President of Burundi, Gaston Sindimwo, has urged citizens to take part in the voters' registration exercise ongoing there. The call comes as Independent Electoral Commission CENI starts its voter registration exercise, which is expected to end on December the 12th.
Everything is ready, but people are very few. We urge the general public to come early, as most expect to come on the last day and still ask for more time.
That's where we leave off with international news. We'll be back with business news after this break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
To be rich, I have to be a business person.
It's not an easy road at all.
People need to understand.
You must quickly think how cost effective are you going to be.
Business acts as a way in which it can bridge that gap.
Business Edition will keep you informed on latest developments in the financial sector, extractive industry, tourism, agriculture, energy, construction, and so much more. Meet entrepreneurs who create employment opportunities. Watch Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news. The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, has announced that annual inflation rates for November 2019 have increased to 3.8%, up from 3.6% in October. The increase in inflation rates has been attributed to rise in prices of some food and non-food items.
Baadhi ya bidhaa za vyakula zilizoongezeka bei kwa mwezi Novemba 2019.
Increase in prices of some food products in the month of November 2019 comparing to prices of November 2018 includes rice by 6.6%, cassava flour 7.8%, beef 2.6%, cooking oil 7.2%, beans 8.6%, vegetables 6.0%, and cassava 5.8%. Price inflation for beverages has increased to 6.1% from 5.1% in October 2019.
An electronic system to prevent the distribution of fake seeds by unscrupulous entrepreneurs has been launched with the aim of addressing farmers' concerns of incurring losses after purchasing substandard seeds.
Manufaa ya teknolojia hii kwanza ni kumkulima wenyewe.
Advantages of this technology is to farmers. It will help them from incurring losses that they used to face from fake seeds. This means that the technology will boost yields, income, and generally improve lives of farmers from recognized seeds, and even sellers will get an opportunity of selling good quality seeds.
Swala hili tunajua
different farmers will be involved, and those who buys farming inputs, for example pesticides like Roundup, will have specific labels from respective industries so as to maintain quality of products that are expected by farmers. We believe that this move will be significant to farmers and the whole country at large.
Nachoenda kwa mkulima ni kile alichotarajia.
That is all for business news. Sports news is next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Day trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Day trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Opposition, Marquinhos, he did lose to
And in sports, Young Africans management says the debts they inherited from their predecessors are making them struggle to pay their players on time.
So we said we will inherit the debts, and we have started reducing them. For instance, on the side of salaries, we owe 2 months, October and November. We got to power in May, and they haven't locked salaries since then to September. We failed in October and November. If everything goes on well, they will get their 2-month salaries.
The Kinondoni Municipal Council team is pledged to finish in the top 4 of the Premier League as they aim to return to international competitions next season.
Support ambayo tumempa mwalimu kuelekea michezo yetu inayofuatia kwa sababu
We have given enough support to our coach heading to our next games. A lot of things have happened recently and the team has started coming back to its form, and everyone who saw our last game saw KMC getting back. That is what is happening. So we expect KMC to play like that in all the remaining games.
Na wachezaji wamesharudi katika hali uhalisia wao.
Jurgen Klopp has warned Salzburg that Liverpool are still ambitious like crazy and will not be stopped from achieving their aims by the most intense schedule he has ever encountered.
The European champions can progress to the knockout stage of the Champions League tonight with a win or draw in Austria, or with a defeat should Napoli lose at home to Genk. They will be eliminated, however, should Napoli win and Salzburg beat Klopp's side by the same scoreline or better than their 4-3 defeat at Anfield in October. Liverpool have qualified from the group on the final match day for the past 2 seasons en route to the final, and for all of Salzburg's hope of reaching the knockout phase for the first time, Klopp insists his Premier League leaders remain determined to add to June's Champions League triumph. The Liverpool manager explained 2 weeks ago Salzburg were very happy that they won against Genk and we had a draw against Napoli because they thought now they have the final against us.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has said his country have reason to appeal against the 4-year ban imposed by the World Anti-Doping Agency. Here's more on this story.
He accepted a recommendation from its Independent Compliance Review Committee on Monday to impose sanctions on Russia. They include barring teams under a Russian flag from competing at the Olympic and Paralympic Games of 2020 and 2022 and the Football World Cup in 2022, among other global sporting events. The country will also be blocked from hosting international sporting competitions.
Manuel Pellegrini will take charge of West Ham's Premier League game at Southampton on a Saturday, but defeat could prompt his dismissal as manager.
Pellegrini told West Ham's board in the wake of the defeat against Arsenal on Monday that he is convinced he can turn around the team's fortunes, and his employers have kept faith with him for now. But the belief in his ability to hold the club away from relegation danger is waning, and losing on Saturday against one of the 4 teams below them could be the point of no return. David Moyes, Chris Hughton and Eddie Hall are among candidates who will be considered if Pellegrini is sacked.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. On behalf of everyone who worked to bring you this bulletin, my name is Vanessa Victor. Thank you for watching and good night.
You can watch Capital News live on our social media accounts, YouTube Capital TV and Facebook Capital Television Tanzania from Monday to Friday at 9:30